DeSoto and the DeSoto Plymouth dealers from coast to coast present Groucho Marx in You Bet Your Life. And now, here he is, the one, the only...
Well, here I am again with a chance for each of our couples to win up to $10,000. And if any of them say the secret word, they'll win an extra $100. And this is the word right here. You see the word?
No, I didn't, as a matter of fact. Thank you.
Don't tell them.
No. I was going to say the Groucho will grill our first couple.
Grill them? Is this a barbecue we're having here?
Groucho will grill our first couple right after this word from our sponsor. Groucho, Otho and Linjoy Pettyjohn are waiting to talk to you. So, folks, come in, please, and meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome to You Bet Your Life. Say the secret word and take home an extra $100. It's a common word, something you see every day. Oh, Otho, is that right? Otho?
Yes.
Otho. And Linjoy Pettyjohn, huh? I thought Otho was that stuff they put around calla lilies to get rid of snails.
Ortho.
Huh? Ortho.
Yes, wonderful.
Are you two married?
I believe so.
Now, how did you meet Linjoy?
Friend of mine.
Still regard him as a friend?
Oh, yes, a very dear friend. Gary Mooney. Said that I should meet this girl, that she was a real weirdie. Very strange.
Well, how did it turn out? Was your friend accurate in his appraisal?
No, she's really a tremendous girl. Very exceptional. Very exceptional.
Were you disappointed that she wasn't a weirdie? Were you looking for a weirdie?
Well, yes, so-called.
And she turned out to be normal. That must have been quite a letdown.
Yeah.
Well, what happened at this first meeting?
Well, she asked me if I would marry her.
She's normal, all right. What did you say to this proposal? Were you speechless?
She was making a joke of me, so I said, don't laugh, I might marry you.
Mm-hmm. What was the next thing that happened after you said, don't laugh, I might do that?
I married her.
You know who's laughing now?
Yes.
Her mother. Were you working at the time when you nailed him?
Yes, I was.
Why did you want to get married if you had a job?
Well, I quit working as soon as we got married.
The same day? What kind of work was he doing at the time?
Well, he wasn't doing anything.
He didn't have a job and you quit yours. Now, what kind of work were you out of, Otho?
I was out of all kinds.
You were all kinds. Well, could you name a few of the jobs that you were out of? What weren't you doing at the time? Do you remember?
Well, window dressing and...
I've never dressed a window. Is it fun?
No, it's hot. Very hot. Warm work.
Well, do you undress the windows, too, before you dress
No,
them?
there's a particular person that undresses windows.
What do they call him?
He's a window undresser.
Seems to me that would be more interesting than the job you had, wouldn't it?
Yes, but it paid less.
What else have you done that you weren't doing?
Art, all kinds.
Art?
Warner Brothers, Camera Lab. Beg your pardon?
Diving for abalone.
Yeah, diving for abalone.
You were diving for abalone at Warner Brothers? Which of the Warner Brothers had the abalone? Do you remember?
No, not right offhand. I meant that I was diving in Laguna Beach for abalone and lobster.
And did you ever catch one?
Yes. Yes, one what?
Did you ever catch a Warner Brothers while you were diving for abalone?
No.
Where did you go, to Laguna Beach?
Yes.
Which of your many occupations that you were out of did you like the best?
Living in Laguna Beach.
What did you do in Laguna
Well,
Beach?
just live by my wits, so-called.
Could you give us an example of how you made a living?
I had rent-free for 2 years for
For 2 years?
For saving a woman's life.
Huh?
I saved her from drowning. And
Where?
Laguna Beach, in the water, out.
Wait, let me get this straight. She was out of the water and you saved her from drowning? What'd you do, grab her on the beach and pull her in the water and drown her?
I had to have 2 years free rent. I arranged it that way.
Oh.
But, you know.
What are you doing now, Otho?
Art, paintings, sculpture, jewelry.
You make a, what kind of, you make a pretty good living?
Not so good that I refuse other kinds of jobs, other types of jobs.
Like what?
Oh, anything. Furniture, anything with
Money attached.
with money attached. It's illegal and.
Can't you find another woman and throw her in the water? Well, Lynn Joy, I gather that you must have a job since. What kind of work do you do?
I help him.
You mean you push the women into the ocean that he later rescues? What do? You help him. Are you an artist?
Yes.
And
I'm
you're
an
an artist too?
Yes.
Would you be happier if he had a job?
No, I'd miss him. I like to get up in the morning late and see him across the table and talk to him all day long.
Has he ever answered you? Now, you're a nice young couple, and I'm sure you're very happy with very little, and I've enjoyed talking to both of you. Now, let's play You Bet Your Life and see how much money you can win. You selected cities and towns of the United States, small towns. I'll give you 4 cities or towns in a particular state, and you identify the state. If you get 4 in a row right, you win $1,000. Are you ready?
Yeah.
In what state are these cities and towns? Yuba City, Oroville, Pismo Beach, and Fresno.
California.
California's right.
You now have one right.
What state has these places? Fairbanks, Nome, Matanuska, and Ketchikan.
Alaska.
Okay.
You now have 2 right.
Now, here are the places. What is the state? Cambridge, Pittsfield, Chester, and Springfield.
Massachusetts.
Massachusetts, that's right.
You have 3 right. Get the next one right, and you'll have your $1,000.
Now, these are the 4 largest places in what state? Milford, Ellesmere, Newark, and Dover.
New Jersey.
New Jersey.
No, I'm sorry, it's Delaware.
Newark, Delaware. That's right.
Well, you now have one wrong.
Well, you should have known that Dover is in Delaware.
Don't get the next one wrong, and the game is over for you.
Yes.
Now, Albert Lee, L-E-A, Red Wing, Duluth, and Mankato. What state?
Montana.
Albert Lee, Red Wing, Duluth, and Mankato.
Duluth, Montana.
What state?
Duluth, Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Come on, kids.
Duluth, Minnesota. You can't say those over.
Duluth and Mankato, Albert Lee, and Red Wing.
Montana, you want to say it?
I said Minnesota.
That's right, Minnesota.
Oh, boy. You now have one right.
Now tell me, what state are these in? Lockport, Fonda, Schenectady, and Tarrytown. How are you getting around my territory?
Schenectady, New York.
What you say?
Schenectady,
New York is right.
You now have 2 right.
Now, where are these? Vicksburg, Greenville, Jackson, and Natchez. Vicksburg, Greenville, Jackson, and Natchez.
Mississippi.
Mississippi is right.
You have 3 right. Get the next one right, and the $1,000 is yours.
In what state are Custer, Pierre, Deadwood, and DeSmet?
There's one in Arizona. Deadwood.
Custer, Pierre, Deadwood, and DeSmet.
Oh, Pierre is the capital of
Dakota. Is it Dakota?
North, somewhere up there. Is that close?
Come on, kids.
Pierre.
Arizona. Oh, this is
Dakota.
really... Say it, because that's what you got.
Dakota.
Yeah, but there happens to be a number of Dakotas.
Oh, what is South Dakota? What's North Dakota? North.
Come on now.
Oh,
You got a 50-50 chance.
well, just...
South Dakota.
Right.
Phew.
We got 4 teacher of
from quit, or you can come back later and try for $5,000 or $10,000.
Now go over there and sit down and think about it, and thanks for being on the show.
Thank you very much.
So I'd like Shirley Hurd and Douglas B. Calderwood to meet you. So folks, you in, please, and meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome to You Bet Your Life. Say the secret word and divide an extra $100. How do you do?
Hi.
Shirley Hurd and Douglas B. Calderwood. Those are very imposing names. Mr. Calderwood, what does the B stand for?
Groucho, it stands for Boyd.
Boyd?
B-O-Y-D.
Oh. Why haven't you got a beard then? You could be a Boyd in the bush. Are you from Brooklyn?
I'm from a little place called Yelverton in Devonshire, England.
Oh, right.
Where Dartmoor is, you know, where the prison is.
Dartmoor, oh. What were you doing in Dartmoor? Was your father a guest or a host?
My father was a marine biologist. He was the world authority on the subject of the salmon.
Really? Well, that explains what he was doing in prison. He was studying salmon in the can. What kind of work do you do?
Let me see. I've been a member of a small mining syndicate in Australia. I've been an officer in the Army in 2 world wars. After the mining thing fizzled out, I went to New Guinea and lived in the bush with the cannibals.
You really did?
I lived with the cannibals.
You're lucky you didn't go to pot. But what were you doing in the bush? Were you looking for a bird in the hand?
I was a member of the administrative service, and broadly our work was to bring the wild savage natives into our sphere of influence, to bring them under control.
You mean in civilization?
Well, so-called civilization. They were just wild cannibals. And, well, we'd go out.
Pretty exciting with those cannibals, huh?
I got along very nicely with them.
They're a pretty gay crowd, you know. They're trying to get you stewed all the time. I'll get back to you in a few days, Mr. Calderwood. Right now, I'd like to discuss a few things with your partner. Your name is Shirley Booth?
No, Shirley Hurd's my
Shirley
name.
Hurd? Shirley Hurd what? Isn't that an incomplete sentence?
Actually,
There was an old story like that in an O. Henry story, you know, where a fellow wants to get a job on a sheep ranch, and the rancher says to him, he says, can you herd sheep? And the fellow says, no, that's wrong. You mean, have you herd sheep? Well, I know. O. Henry wrote that. I didn't write this. I thought you'd be interested in a little kind of a minor tidbit. Where are you from, Shirley?
I was born in South Lyons, Michigan, but I came to San Diego when I was a year old.
And do they say Shirley to bed when you were small? You know, like Shirley to rise?
I don't remember.
Well, I'm glad I thought of it.
I'm glad I didn't.
Are you married?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. You're a very attractive woman,
Thank
Shirley.
you.
How long have you been married?
12 years.
Do you approve of that sort of thing?
Of marriage?
Yes.
It's all right.
You mean you can take it or leave it?
Exactly. You take it or leave it alone.
Now, this fellow, where did you meet your husband, this chap that you dislike?
Emery?
Emery, is
I
that
don't
his name?
dislike Emery.
No.
Emery's real
You're
nice
not nuts
fella.
about him, though.
Yeah, I like Emery. He's fun.
What you don't like is the state of matrimony, is that it?
Yes, I like that, too.
Well, what don't you like?
It lasts so long, though.
Yeah, that's true.
We've been married a real long time.
Can't you knock him off?
And he tells sheep herder jokes.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Oh,
and they're-
boy, that's the lowest form of human
Yeah,
life.
you know what I mean, though.
Yeah.
No, I met him
Would you have liked me better if I hadn't told that O. Henry story?
much. I was kind of disappointed.
You're rather frank, aren't you?
Yeah. I met him. Do you really care?
I care
You wanna
about
know.
you. I don't care about the story you're going to tell, but I have no alternative but to sit here and listen to this. You see, I happen to be glued to the seat.
I was glad.
I'm what they call the oldest stool pigeon in show business. Well, go ahead, Shirley, and I want you to pardon me for
What do you want to know?
interrupting you. I want to face your phone number because in the state of your relationship with your old man, it
We
seems
should get
to me
together, huh?
we took the words right out of your mouth. What kind of work does your husband do?
He works for the telephone company. He's a deskman. He tells a deskman.
What's a deskman?
He tells the fellows that climb the telephone poles what poles to climb.
Well, now Are these 10-foot poles or the regular size poles?
The regular size.
And do they climb these? These are polecats, apparently. Well, how does your husband know which poles to send the men to?
I never ask him. I really don't care much about poles.
Well, how do you feel about Czechoslovakians?
I don't care much about it either.
Jack, you just like the whole continent, don't you?
No.
Does your husband like his work?
Yes, he likes it very much. He works nights, and you'd be amazed what you can do when your husband works nights.
You might be amazed, but I wouldn't. Do you have any hobbies like golf or tennis or forgery?
I like to travel, especially Europe.
Where do you like to go when you visit Europe?
Well, I've never visited Europe. I'd like to see Paris, but I probably will never get there because my husband's been there and he says I wouldn't like it.
Well, you're certainly lucky to have a husband like that. He's thinking of you every minute. Well, let's stop all this chatter. I think, now, we're going to play You Bet Your Life. You know this game, how we play. Jack Megan is going to play some tunes, and you tell me the title. If you miss 2 in a row, you're out. If you get 4 in a row right, you win $1,000.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Fine. How you doing? Hope I can guess.
Has there been something going on between you two while before the show started?
It would do no good to tell you I have never met this lady before.
Well, why this undue familiarity? You didn't warm up to me like that.
I kind of think that for years I've been, like all the other women in the United States, watching George Fenneman over, that is your name, isn't it? over television, too, but I'm here and I'm going to hold on for a while anyway.
You now have one right.
I'd love to.
You call that a kiss?
Mighty handsome fellow.
I wouldn't kiss a dog that way. This is really a dog. All right, here we go. This is from the show Carousel. You tell me the name of the song.
If I Loved You.
Who are you talking to?
Anybody.
Is that right?
You now really
Yeah,
have one
that's
right.
right. I know that's right.
Good.
Oh, you didn't give me that one later?
Now, the second
All
one
right.
won an Academy Award. You tell me the name.
Zippity-doo-dah. Zippity-doo-dah.
Zippity-doo-dah is right.
And you now have 2 right.
Harold Adamson and Jimmy McHugh wrote this song.
It's a most unusual day.
You now have 3 right. $90,000.
Ray Bolger made this one famous, but it was written by Frank Lesser.
Once in love with Amy!
You got yourself. Yes, you secure yourself $1,000, and you of course can keep your $1,000, or you can come back later and take a chance in winning more money.
You go over there and talk it over, and thanks for being on the show.
That means that both of our couples can try for the double chance at $5,000 or $10,000 tonight. Here are Otho and Lynn Pettyjohn to give you their decision. Groucho, would you come back in, please?
Well, what are you going to do? Are you going to go over the big money?
Yes.
You are?
Yes.
You take 2 numbers. You pick one number for $10,000, and you pick another number for $5,000. Now pick the, what number are you going to take?
5.
5, that's for $10,000. Put it up, George. Now you pick another number for 5.
8.
8. Put an 8 up there, George. Now, if any other number comes up, the question is worth $2,000. Okay, give it a spin. Your numbers were 5 and 8, and it landed on 6. Well, you certainly frightened me. So this question is going to be worth $2,000. Only one composer has been elected to the Hall of Fame for Great Americans. For $2,000, what composer is in the Hall of Fame? Talk it over. Well, what's your answer?
Dvorak.
No, American
American
composer, yes.
I'd say Ira Gershwin.
No. Yeah, well, it was Stephen Collins Forster.
Stephen Foster.
I'm sorry, mister, but you wound up with $500. That isn't
Wonderful.
too bad. Congratulations.
Wonderful.
And thanks for being with us. Sorry you didn't win more. You're good
Thank you.
sports.
Billy Hurd and Douglas Calderwood, would you come back out here, please, and give us your decision?
All right. Oh, how do you do?
Hi.
How about up to here, huh? Now, what are you going to do? Are you going to go for the big money? Shirley Hurd?
Oh, all right, I'll go ahead.
Well, now, look, we don't want to influence you. You don't have to. You can take your money and scram. I don't want to be
go ahead?
part of...
Okay, then I'm going to take my $500 and I'm
Well-
going to San Francisco whether he says I like it or not.
Oh, good. I'll have a good time.
Be sure to tune in next week, same time, same station, for Groucho Marx in You Bet Your Life. Brought to you by your DeSoto Plymouth dealer. And don't forget to listen to You Bet Your Life every Wednesday night on radio.